Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to the third Revolutionary Love Facebook live stream. Yay! I hope you're all having fun. I am so looking forward to doing this every week. And we're going to talk every single week, hi Mary, about some kind of specific topic that has to do with everything. Like you've always heard me say, all things love. Hi Steph. Dating, relating, marriage, breakups, divorce, where you're getting confused, where are there issues. So while we're going to talk about that weekly, once a month I'm adding in what we're doing today, the Revolutionary Love Q&A, because I do this out in the world. I take this out and I do an evening, and sometimes people can submit anonymous questions, and sometimes they get brave enough to just raise their hand right there and start, going in and asking those burning questions. But they always tell me later, hi Sarah, hi Brian, I wish this was longer. I wish we had more time to ask these questions. Not only is it helpful for me to get my question asked, but you guys tell me I love, love, love hearing everybody else's questions. And I know what you mean. Every time I hear a relationship question, or imagine the coaching that I do every single day when I'm working with clients and talking about these issues. Hi Chris, hi John. It helps me. There's no private good. There's no way that we aren't having these deep, meaningful conversations about love, relationship, marriage, how to relate better, how to have a stronger relationship with ourselves, how do we have a stronger relationship with others. There's no way that we're talking about someone else's issue or problem or challenge that we don't learn something from that ourselves. And that's why I want to have this community with you. That's why I'm hoping everybody will ask questions. I don't have a lot of questions that have been submitted, and I'm not sure what's going on with that. Sometimes I get people very hesitant to put, a specific relationship question in a comment. They don't want their name attached to that. That's cool. But I did send out a message and say, look, if you want to send me an email, a private email, I can still, on these Revolutionary Love Q&As, answer them here and not use your name. Hi, Saide. So today may be very short. I've got 3 questions, okay? And maybe some of you will put a question right here. I'll start with these that have been sent in, and then I'll get my glasses back on, and I'll look and see if you guys have posted any questions. But if it's short today because we just have a couple of questions, cool, that's great. I'm doing this because you've said it would be helpful. If we find out after running a couple of these live Q&As that you'd rather just have the teachings, great, we'll do that. I'm going to do what you guys need and what you want that is truly helpful. So let me just review for 1 second. What have you heard me say, either these last 3 weeks or, if you've known me forever, constantly? Everything meaningful in our lives centers around relationship. Hi, Anne. Let's let that sink in again. Everything meaningful in our lives centers around relationship. Would you say that's true? Yeah. So what we're doing here is we're committing to being a part of this Revolutionary Love community and doing the work, waking up, listening to these videos, talking to other people about this. Got a couple of people that are in groups that are saying every week, we get together, we watch this video, we do the homework, or we talk about your topic. This is how we change ourselves. This is how we wake up. This is how we grow. This is how we have that positive ripple effect on everybody else in our lives. So I'm going to keep talking about a meaningful topic every week, and I'm open to your suggestions, whatever you want to talk about. I know after 21 years of doing this, kind of what the hot, heated topics are that we need to talk about and that we've never gotten any good, solid skills or tools around. I know what I talk to my clients about every week, but I also want to hear from you specifically. Barb, please, on this week, can we please talk about this? I'm open. Shoot me off a text or an email, and we'll put it on the calendar, okay? All right, before I jump in, couple of things. I am reading this book right now, OMG. It is incredible. It's by Glennon Doyle, and definitely great book for anybody. She's talking about her growth. Hi, Nancy. Her personal growth, her really beautiful journey of waking up. This also, though, includes her personal journey and her being extremely vulnerable around addictions, bulimia, what else were, oh, alcoholism, her husband's addiction to porn, all kinds of things. And so if anybody's been struggling with their own addictions or is on a great healing path, this was just a fabulous book. I really recommend it. And the other one that I love, since I've got both of these that I'm reading right now, Danielle Laporte, I'm just madly in love with. I read her Firestarter sessions several years ago, and honestly, those exercises in there helped me change my life and change my coaching practice. This new one, White Hot Truth, Clarity for Keeping It Real on Your Spiritual Path, is a fabulous book. This summer, I went down to LA and took 4 of my clients to Danielle's talk at Agape. And we just had a great evening. I kind of hosted a get-together for these clients that I'd never met and been working with forever. And then we went to her talk, and it was wonderful. So let me know that you're here. Shoot some hearts and some likes this way. And if you've got a question for today, put it down here while I'm just finishing up this preliminary part of this, okay? So those 2 books, and Danielle Laporte, oh my gosh, check her out if you don't know her. So like I said, I'm going to jump in right now. This may be a very short live stream if I don't get any more questions, or I'll stay on here for an hour if we need to do that. But let me start with the questions, and then next week we'll go back to a specific topic. By the way, the specific topic you don't want to miss next week. The specific topic is one that I am just starting a draft of the next book that I'm going to write on. And it's something titled around, but I love him. Doesn't that mean something? Okay, ouch. Have you said that? Or, but I love her. Doesn't that mean something? I don't want you to miss this next week, okay? So I'll be posting about that. Let's jump into the questions. So if you have a question, post it here. Here is the start. I'm going to read the questions to you that I have, okay? We've got 3, and we're going to jump right in. So the first one, how do you feel about dating someone quite a bit older than you? Will it always end? I hate feeling like a cougar, which is hysterical, but we have a lot of fun together. You know, there's a lot to be said about having a really large age difference in a relationship. And of course, it's interesting, isn't it, that if we've got a man that's quite a bit older than a woman, it still absolutely is acceptable in society. And when we hear that a woman is dating a man who's considerably younger, you know, even though I think people are getting a little more used to it, there's sort of this, oh, and then this cougar comment. It's really fascinating to me, and not fascinating in a good way. But there's much to be said about having a maybe 10, 12, 15-year age difference and whether that really can work. I'm not going to go into that as much right now. Do I believe they can work? Yes. I've actually got a couple of really close friends that have a 12 and 15-year age difference, the woman being older, and they've gotten past it and have a fabulous relationship. But it was a struggle for them for a while, and mainly because in the back of their mind, they kept feeling like there was something wrong with it, or they had family or friends that would kind of raise their eyebrows or, you know, make a comment, and they had to get comfortable with it. I will say this, it can be hard when we're looking at creating emotional connection in a relationship, because remember, that's what keeps a relationship solid, not good communication. A solid emotional connection going. Sometimes it can be hard to have that emotional connection be really strong if it feels like there's a lot of differences, and if age is making it challenging to feel connected in these ways. But if a couple feels really connected in everything else they're doing, it doesn't have to be a problem. One of the things that most people are most concerned about when they're talking about an age difference is not where they are right now. if they're looking at 28 and 39, that may not be a problem. What they're really quietly saying is, what's going to happen when, if there's a 15-year age difference and I'm 55 and he's 70, or she's... So what we're talking about a lot of times then are health issues, a difference in ability to be able to be out in the world and have a great time and enjoy things. And again, that's something to definitely consider. But I'll tell you what, you guys probably all know this by now. We don't know what's ever going to happen in our life. We don't know if we're going to be with somebody who's older and we're wondering, oh my gosh, am I going to have to take care of them? And at a young age, we have something happen to us and they're taking care of us. So do I think that the love comes first? I do. I think it's important to figure out what your requirements are when you're dating and in a relationship. And if it's really important to you to have somebody closer to your age that you feel that you can relate to, what each other's been through, then yes, I think it's an important consideration. And probably the biggest thing that comes up when we're talking about a big age difference is always the issue around kids. So that can be an absolute deal breaker. Maybe that's a deal breaker because if the man is older and has already had a family, maybe that younger woman says, look, I still really want to have kids, and he says, I'm done. Or vice versa. I've got a client right now who's in that situation, and she's the older one and really doesn't want to have kids, and he's young and he's saying, I still want to do this. That's not an age difference, really. That's a requirements difference. All right? Okay, let me look at the next question. This is a really good one. We've been living together 3 years and are devoted, but the marriage conversation keeps being avoided. We've been married twice. We've both been married twice. He keeps putting reasons up why it's not the right time, and I've complied with all the hoops he's asked me to jump through. She puts in parentheses, regarding settling things with my ex, working with my daughter's teenness, etc. So I don't know whether to leave the topic and appreciate what I have or bring it up. Okay, this is such a great question. I know this woman. She's a brilliant, amazing, bright woman, closer to my age, has been married, as she said, knows what's what about all kinds of things. And here's what stands out to me. So I'm going to say to you, if you're listening on this live stream, here's the sentence that really jumps out of me. We don't worry right now about, should I bring up marriage again or not? Here's the sentence I want you to sit with. And I've complied with all the hoops he's asked me to jump through. Okay, that makes my heart go, ah. I don't know if there's really been hoops that he's asked you to jump through, or if that's what it's feeling like, these things where you're having conversations and he's saying, here are my concerns. I'm not sure if things are really finalized with your ex, or maybe there's some more cleanup. When you say my daughter's teenness, I remember my son at this age, and I was a single mom for a while, and then I started to date. And absolutely, there's some juggling to do when you bring another person into the mix who's going to be living under the same roof, and to try to learn how to be a united front and yet let that parent really do the parenting and make sure that parent is willing to set really clear boundaries with that young teenager around their teenness, and we all know what we mean by that. So I think the first place I would start with this would not be to go back in and just be like, okay, let's talk marriage again. I would do some really great deep inquiry and meditations around, what is it that causes me to use that sentence, I've jumped through all these hoops? Because there's a little bit of resistance, resentment, that I'm hearing. That would be what I'd be feeling if I'd be using, that sentence. God, I've jumped through all these hoops. I would look at that first. I would sit and do some deep inquiry first around, why do I feel I'm jumping through hoops? I'm hoping, and I know this person, so I'm sure that they have great conversations. I'm hoping that you're just sitting together very quietly and practicing some really great, deep listening and being really vulnerable with each other. Talking about those concerns and fears around what that feels like when you've been married and divorced a couple of times, and then you're in a relationship with a beloved, you're devoted, and our society says the next step is marriage. So I don't necessarily believe a next step has to be marriage. I really don't. And at our age, I'm not sure that's an inevitable next step. But that again would have me ask you, what are your requirements, your deal breakers? What are his? When you went into this relationship, did you guys have a conversation about what those deal breakers are? And more important, at this age, is that a deal breaker? Does it need to be? Is companionship more important? And here's what I would say. After you do this deep inquiry yourself about what is my story around hoops that I'm jumping through, and you sit and really have some deep, vulnerable, open-hearted conversations around what the fears are, around possibly making a commitment like that again, a commitment to marriage, here's what I'd rather see both of you focus on. I'd rather see both of you focus on creating a really beautiful relationship vision together. I'd rather see you just push that topic of marriage over to the side, and I don't mean avoid it. I don't believe in sweeping anything under the rug. I'd rather see you push that over to the side and sit together and say, look, we're devoted. How about us fleshing out a really beautiful relationship vision? How about us writing a beautiful covenant together about who we are as beloveds to each other and what we want as we move forward in life? I would much rather have you play with that and see what organically opens from that really beautiful, open-hearted place, and then come back in and see, is a legal married commitment part of that vision, or is this deeply satisfying, to have a personal covenant that you've written together? And please know, any of you, and especially you who wrote this question, if you want any help or suggestions around that, I'm here, I'm open. I can give you some of the prompts and some of the questions and things to go through. But creating a relationship vision, and by the way, for any of you that are currently in a relationship, if you don't have one, you need one. If you don't have a map of where you're going, how do you get there? If you take a trip, don't you have a map of where you're going? Haven't you figured that out? You need a vision that naturally draws you forward in a relationship. So I hope that helps. Let me look here really quick and see if I have any questions. Sarah, let's see. How do you approach unblocking abundance when you've identified the block as your partner's energy? Oops, I just missed that question. It went up. Okay. Sarah, I think what you're saying when you're saying, how do you approach unblocking abundance? Let me feed back to you what I'm hearing, then you can let me know later, send me an email or something if I missed it, because I really want to help you. I think I'm hearing you saying, how do I make sure that a partner's energy blocks or whatever are not being taken on by me and adding to my blocking of the abundance that I'm trying to attract in my life? Is that correct? Maybe you can give me a thumbs up, Sarah, if you're still here. Is that correct? Okay, I'm going to assume that's correct. Relationship to self. Okay, remember that. Everything that we're ever questioning about somebody else and how somebody else is affecting us. Okay, Sarah, thank you. She said yes, that's what she's talking about. Remember, anything that we think is affecting us, an outer circumstance, situation, a challenge, a problem, a person, it's so easy for us to look and think it's outside of us and say, oh my God, your energy, we'll take this one, your energy around beliefs, around abundance or money or scarcity mentality or whatever is going on, that is affecting me, that's infecting me. When I'm around you, I feel it's dragging me down, I feel it's blocking me. That can't happen, can it, Sarah? You and I've talked a lot about this. It's so easy to fall into that belief that something outside of us, including another person, can affect us. And it simply doesn't have to be the case. When we stay strong and connected to our own solid personal foundation, when we hold to our personal standard, our personal honor code, when we set boundaries around what we need immediately to say no to, and Sarah, there may be some things that you need to immediately say no to. If there are financial or abundance issues, they may be conversations that are creating more energy and more focus on scarcity than abundance. And so you may need to, with absolute love, say, I'm not participating in those conversations. Working daily with specific mantras and affirmations that get you into the feeling tone of what your deep beliefs are about drawing and attracting abundance in all its many forms, financial, love, caring, opportunities, everything into your life, is simply your own job and your own work. That's a daily spiritual practice, and nobody can affect that. Nobody can affect that. So I would say to you, I would look at where do you need to get stronger, not put big walls up. Internally, where do you need to get stronger, and not buy in to any kind of fear that your partner is expressing, so that you can stay strong and hold the feeling tone. And I'm emphasizing the feeling tone because even though I was taught by Louise Hay and trained by her personally about the power of affirmations, I actually do not believe in the power of affirmations if they are just something that we are just speaking and quietly thinking, oh my God, I hope these become true. That's just wishful thinking. When we speak affirmations or mantras where we are getting into the feeling tone and truly feeling our belief in what we're stating, everything moves. The universe rushes in to support that, and I believe that with my whole heart. So I hope that was helpful, Sarah, and if you've got any more questions, shoot me off a message, okay? All right, let me look. I think I saw another question here. Hi, Emma. Did I see a question? Yes, yeah. Okay, fear, Sarah. Yeah, she said fear. Yes, that's it. Great. Don't buy into somebody else's fear. It's so easy for us to hook into that. It is important who we surround ourselves with. But before you just push people out of your life, have an open conversation with them and let them know, this is what I'm working on. And so what I really want to do is make sure that we create the space for ourselves where we're supporting each other's aliveness. We're supporting each other's risk-taking. We're supporting each other's vibrancy. We're supporting each other being inspired, unstoppable, not complaining to each other and feeding each other's fears. Okay, that's so important. And if you need to speak up and make a strong request to a partner, parents, friends, to say, please, I don't want to go here. I don't want to go here. I'm not ignoring reality, but I am going to put my energy and focus into creating more of what I truly want, that's alive and vibrant and not based in fear. Speak it. Speak it out loud and hold to that. And make sure that you're doing that and supporting other people around that. Okay? All right, let me just look one more time, see if we have any other questions. All right, I don't see any others. So we're going to stop right here. You guys can let me know if you want to keep doing these Q&As once a month. I think they're amazing, and I hear from you all the time. Isn't there a place where I can just get my question answered? This is the place, you guys. So we'll have one again in October. Tell your friends, bring your questions. I'll give you my email again next month so that if you want to send an anonymous question, and I won't say your name, it's absolutely fine. There's no problem with that. A lot of times it's very personal, and you don't want to put it on here. So let's have a really great week. Let's make sure that we're sharing this Revolutionary Love community with everyone that you know that could benefit from talking about all things love and relationship. Love, dating, marriage, divorce, breakups, how we're getting confused with where we need to strengthen ourselves. Just like we talked about today, how do we make sure that we stop looking outside of us and saying the problem's out here and come back always to the relationship with ourselves and strengthen that? That's what we're doing here. We're committed to grabbing another hand and saying, we're going to do this different. We may not have learned this when we were younger, but we're going to learn it here. We're going to take these teachings every week. We're going to change ourselves and keep waking up. We're going to grab a hand and bring somebody else here who needs this too, who needs to get out of pain. And we're going to help each other so that we have a powerful, positive influence on all of those around us. And we keep waking up. And my friends, that's how we change the world. Big love to all of you. Have a wonderful week. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.